Hi, I'm Kevin Schilbrack, and I'm the instructor of Religious Studies 1010, one of the instructors of Religious Studies 1010. My sections are section 101 and 102. This is one of the most popular classes, if not the most popular class in the philosophy and religious studies department. And so we have multiple sections of the class, and the class is offered from a different perspective by the different instructors. We're not all teaching from the very same syllabus. And so it's a smart idea by you to look at the way that the class is taught by the different instructors and decide whether you want to take the class with one professor rather than another. And for that reason, I wanted to talk about my approach in this short video. So this class is called Religion and Imaginary Worlds, and it was originally called Religion and Literature. Just a few years ago, we have a gifted teacher who said she wanted to change the name of the class to Religion and Imaginary Worlds so that it wouldn't be texts only of written literature, but could also include movies. And so this class on Religion and Imaginary Worlds is on fictional worlds in novels and movies. And then different faculty teach it in different ways. Sometimes it has a very science fiction vibe and it includes Star Wars. Sometimes it has a fantasy vibe. It includes Harry Potter or includes Narnia. But those are not true exactly of the way I teach it. So I wanted to put on the table my approach and let students make a informed decision about what they wanted to think about and write about next semester. So my version of the Religion and Imaginary Worlds class does focus on fictional and film worlds that are imagined and entertaining and Hollywood, quote unquote, productions, and their connection to religion and their connection to God and their connection to the purpose of your life and to the deepest roots of what would give your life value. It does do that, but then my focus is really on utopias. I think that novels are a way for people to explore ideas when they look at the world outside the window and they think, and it doesn't have to be like this. What would the world look like if it was better? And obviously, everyone has a different idea of what better means. You may know this, but the word utopia actually comes from a novel written by someone about 500 years ago who did exactly this, who said, well, this is what I imagine a better world would look like. It would treat money very differently. It would treat education very differently. It would treat religion very differently than the way we treat it here. That's where the word utopia comes from, is from this imaginary world used as a kind of model for how we could live, because then you can debate, you might say, at arm's length in a fantasy mode. I don't think this would work if we tried this. It works in the novel, but I don't think it would work in reality because people are too selfish or because it's too different from what we have now. But maybe it would. What if we tried this version of it? Or what if we tried that attempt at it? So I think that fiction, like the book Utopia and the tradition of thinking about imaginary worlds, what would be heaven on earth? What would be the kingdom of God? What would be nirvana? What would be a liberated existence? Religions have cared about that for centuries, and they've written about that. And you find that, to be sure, in movies that have this kind of religious sensibility. That's what the focus of my particular class is on. So if you have an interest in the economic and political and social and gendered relationships. How could society hang together better? Um, what about socialism? What about communism? What about capitalism? Does the Bible have things to say about that? What have other religions thought about that? Well, what if I'm not in any particular religion, I'm just spiritual, but not particularly religious? That wouldn't mean that you're not still dreaming of a better world. And that's the focus of this particular class. So this is a 1,000-level class. There's no prerequisites. There's no expectation that you already know the Bible or that you already are a religious person. This is just a course that wants to examine some religious thinkers who've said, we can do better. We could imagine a world that looks like this. And they've put that into their fiction. They've put that into their films. So we're going to study those and use them as a springboard to think about how our lives could be stronger, how our nation could be better, how our world could be more just. If this is interesting to you, then sign up for section 101 or section 102 of the Religion 1010 class in the spring. Thanks.